Hey guys, it's Danny, and welcome back to another episode of the Swim Good podcast. This week we have a special episode dedicated to all of America, those who are suffering, who are really feeling just numb, numb to the pain of what's happened before, continuing to happen now, who are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Um, you know, I had to take a break. I just felt that the last few weeks have really come to a head. And I feel for anyone who feels the impact of what's happening in this world, specifically America, but we know that this happens in other places as well. My thoughts and prayers are with those who are standing up in protest. Support businesses that serve you and support your communities. I also understand that, there's a spirit of inequality in America that lots of people are tired of. The gap between rich and poor, even rich and middle class, is widening every day, and that really impacts the decisions that we're able to make for our families and our children, specifically the opportunities and the resources that come into our communities. And it impacts the hope and the desire that we have for our children to be able to live unharassed and truly live free in this country. So, with that said, I've had to, for my own self-care, really kind of just take a break from consuming image after image, media portrayal, in some respects, lies coming out of different camps. And for me, what helps is to kind of get into something that is not reality based. And so this episode, I'm actually really, really excited about. Outside of therapy, I feel that watching movies and TV shows and really just kind of getting lost in good and amazing storytelling is an opportunity to escape and to recharge. And what I'm going to do, something that I'm going to do that's a little bit different this time around is one, this episode is not going to be focused on insecure. But two, I'm also going to provide links in the description box and probably on the community page to support different movements in your area. If you should see fit. If you want to know how you can help, I'll go ahead and find reputable organizations or people that are really on the ground and doing amazing things to support people, whether it's social justice initiatives, criminal justice initiatives, supporting the poor and the working class. Any opportunities to support those groups. I know some of us who are unable to protest, who have maybe protested in our younger days, and now we're leaving that for the young people. There's another way that we can help, and some of that is just helping with our own skills, our resources, our money, putting our dollars where it counts. So I will do that for you guys. Give me some time, but it will definitely be in the description box. So now what I want to do is get into the top movies and series that I like to watch to escape, that really just kind of take me to another place, take me out of this, so that each day I can recharge and restart and be a new Danny, for myself, for my family, and for you guys, the viewers and watchers and listeners of this podcast. I like to come here with a positive energy, and I hope that you guys feel that. So with that said, let's get into it. My top movies, these are going to be in different across different streaming services or cable networks, and so I'll try to let you know, I'll definitely let you know beforehand where you can find the particular series and or movie title. All right, let's get into it. So, one of the newest series that I'm super excited about, I really just finished it, and I'm excited, but I'm also low-key upset about it because I finished it, and I'm sure that I'm going to have to wait another year for the next season to come out. But it's on Netflix, and it's called Blood and Water. If you were a fan of Cruel Intentions, a little bit of Clueless, but with a little bit more grit, which is why I would say Cruel Intentions um, is a better example of this kind of genre of movie or series. Blood and Water on Netflix is a really, really great series. It's based on a young girl, high school girl, and her family in South Africa. And I'm not going to tell you everything, but basically, as an infant, her sister was stolen from the hospital that she was born in. And so the story kind of follows the grief of her parents as they celebrate her older sister's 17th birthday. But really, she's the infant that they were never able to bring home from the hospital. It's a really cool, well written, well shot, well executed storyline, and I say go ahead and support it. The next movie that I would like to pub is also on Netflix, and it's called Lovebirds. Now, I'm sure all my Issa Rae stans already have watched this movie. I've seen it twice. I think The Lovebirds is like the complete definition of escapism. It's funny. It's an easy watch. If you liked Date Night, maybe I believe that movie was like Steve Carell and Tina Fey. It probably came out maybe less than 10 years ago, about 6-7 years ago. This Lovebirds is like the second generation of Date Night. And and that's a good thing. It's a really cool, interesting twist on that kind of story. A little bit rom-com, a lot of action. I just thought it was good. Issa Rae and Kumail. Now I can't remember his name, but Kumail, their chemistry is wonderful. And so I'd love to see those two at the writing table again. I felt like I could hear both of their voices. I've seen other things that Kumail has written, and obviously I've seen many things that Issa Rae has written and produced and been in. So another series that I watched pretty much in one night or maybe a weekend. This is along the same lines as Blood and Water. So if you like Blood and Water, go on Amazon Plus, or is it called Amazon Plus? Amazon Prime, excuse me. Amazon Prime. And in their series, they have a series called Scylla and the Spades. And it's along the same lines of Cruel Intentions, but I would say that it's a little bit more gritty than Blood and Water. A little grittier, probably a little bit truer to the darkness, like the dark undercurrents, and probably a little bit darker even than Cruel Intentions, but still really good. Kind of a slow burn, but really interesting, and I like the young actors who played in it. One of the main characters, he played in When They See Us, and he's an excellent actor. I can't remember the young man's name right now. I think I saw him in something else. I want to say he was in Moonlight, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say he was in Moonlight. I'm not going to recommend When They See Us right now because we're talking about escapism. But Scylla and the Spades is that. Let's see. What else? If you like a little bit of drama and delving into other cultures that you may not be familiar with, I have two series for you. One is Orthodox. That's on Netflix. It's about a young Jewish Orthodox woman from Brooklyn. And like there's if you lived in New York or ever visited New York or Brooklyn specifically, you know that there's a large Hasidic community there. And so this is where that story is based, but it also travels to Berlin, Germany. And so I feel like the series really picks up um, when it gets to Berlin. So it's about a young woman who's really just trying to find herself. She has a little bit of family drama, and she's just trying to figure out if this is where she wants to be. I would say the acting is superb by the young lady who plays the lead character. And it really, in a way that I haven't seen as an outsider, it really lets you into what that Hasidic, particularly the American Hasidic communities, can look like, and some of their customs and traditions, and yeah, just kind of understanding that. And I felt like someone who likes history would really like a series like that. So there's that. And on Amazon Prime, the Fabulous Mrs. Maisel. This is also kind of, well, not kind of, this is a very Jewish focused series, as in the main character is Jewish, but it takes place in like the 1950s, or 1950s, 60s. I can't remember what it's in that era, somewhere between the 50s and the 60s. And it's a really good show. If you like costumes and just the styling from that era, like, the beautiful clothes, the shoes, the outfits, like they're giving you style, okay? And the young lady who plays the lead, if you are a woman or if you're a mother who needs to sort of refine your power, or a woman who's trying to, who maybe feels like you need to pull like your inner lioness out of you. Like this is a great kind of feel good, inspirational, like just woman who finds herself take. Like it's a wonderful series. I believe there's 3 seasons. That'll take you a while, but you will not regret it. It's really good. The cast, um, they have a way of sprinkling in interesting people all throughout. And so yeah, it's, there's some diversity there, and it's a really good series. Another good movie that I liked that I didn't really hear a lot about, I'm not sure why. It came out a couple months back. I want to say it came out towards the end of 2019. But this movie was on Netflix, starring Eddie Murphy. It's called Mr. Church. And this movie, I heard a little bit of criticism, about, kind of like the black savior kind of saving the white woman in the film. But I just felt like this movie showed a different side of Eddie Murphy that we haven't seen in a really long time. I would say that we saw glimpses of a more subdued character when he was it Dreamgirls? Was it Dreamgirls or Cadillac Records? I think it was Dreamgirls, when he played the singer in Dreamgirls, kind of like a troubled singer who was trying to make it again. I think it was definitely Dreamgirls. I really liked Mr. Church, guys. I don't know how else to say it, but I think give it a shot. He's Once he enters the movie, he's just intriguing. And it was just a really sweet movie. So on that same page of like kind of sweet series, also on Netflix, it's a new series. I think a lot of people are watching it because I see it like on the first page every time I log into Netflix. It's called Sweet Magnolia. If you were a fan of Heart of Dixie, you'll like Sweet Magnolia. I would say it has a little bit more edge, a little less cheese, but it still has that kind of small town, cheesy, funny characters, nosy neighbors kind of, feeling about it. But it's good. It's one of those casts where the main girlfriends are a diverse group of women. You have, is it Heather Headley? I think that's who it is, who is one of the lead characters. And I haven't seen sis in a long time. So it was really nice to see her. I hope I'm not like misnaming her, but I think that's who it is. In addition to this young lady who she played on a series, her name was Jane, and it was about a lawyer who was in the wrong body. It was a weird show, but it was a great show. um Plus size woman, and she was funny. I really liked her in that series. She was kind of like an Elle from Legally Blonde kind of character, but in a body that didn't match that vibe. So it was interesting to see her play a totally different character, a more career driven kind of like agitated woman role, but I liked it and I like her. And then the other main character, I can't really remember what her name is or what I've seen her in, but she played her role very well. Okay. Now, some other things I want to try to, let me see. How am I doing on time? Oh, Lord. Okay. I'm already 16 minutes in, but I'm going to try to rush through. Let's see. If you like documentaries or even like reality shows, I'm going to give you a couple. I don't have a lot, but the Quincy documentary on Netflix was done really well. I want to say it was produced by his daughters. For some reason, I feel like there might be two Quincy documentaries on there, but they're both good, but particularly the one done by Rashida Jones and what's his other daughter's name? Kidada Jones. It's great. Go watch it. And then if you like, okay. On Amazon Prime, there is a documentary about the luxury department store Bergdorf Goodman, and it's called Bury Me at Bergdorf. I don't know why I can't say this name. Bury Me at Bergdorf or Bergdorf's. And it's a really interesting, it's just a funny take on kind of the behind the scenes of a really posh New York City landmark department store. So if you like if you like looking at luxury clothes, they kind of go behind the scenes of the fancy Christmas windows. Bergdorf has like the best Christmas windows. Some of the popular salespeople. It's just a really interesting documentary, and I enjoyed it, and that's on Amazon, so you can find that. On Netflix, there is a really, really great documentary that came out. I wouldn't say it came out this year, at the top of this year. It's about a race car driver. I think he wasn't a NASCAR driver. He was like a different kind of driver. Is it Indy? Like an Indy driver? Indy 500 or something? Listen, I'm not like a race car person. That's like not my genre. But it was about like the first Black guy who really made waves in that particular industry. And it's called Uppity. So if I didn't say that already, it's called Uppity. You can find it on Netflix, and it's really good. And the guy, like, he's kind of young still. I want to say he's got to be under 60. Maybe he's just pushing 60. Either way, if he is or if he's not, he looks good for his age. And he's got a lot of spunk. If you like that kind of Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali energy, he gives you all of that. So that's a really good documentary to watch. Another great documentary, of course, is Becoming, which is based on Michelle Obama's bombshell book that came out last year. It really kind of follows her tour. I have 2 copies of her book. I'm going to put myself out there. I still haven't read it. But it will make you want to read it. It's just about, if you, again, similar to like the Fabulous Mrs. Maisel, if you really just are taking this time in quarantine to step back into yourself in this next phase of yourself, of your womanness, of your awesomeness, or maleness, whatever, like Becoming is a really great It's a really great, like, sort of intimate portrait of the behind the scenes of this book that just blew into the stratosphere last year. So, yes, great, great, great one. And then one other, well, this is a reality show. It's not a documentary, but it's real. It's unscripted, right? Yes, it's unscripted. So this one, to me, it's really escapism. You can watch it in one night, or not one night, one day, but it's really fun. If you like flowers or floral artistry, it's called The Big Flower Fight. It's on Netflix. It's a British reality show. I don't know what it is about the Brits. I mean, they don't do my girl Duchess Megan right, but they do get their reality shows right, their competition shows basically, right. And The Big Flower Fight is a really, really good one. Lots of artsy vibes, just beautiful flowers, colorful people, literally colorful people. And it's an easy watch, so you can watch that. It's a great show. If you want, along the sort of same vein as the gaudiness and the audaciousness of The Big Flower Fight, on Netflix there's a series. RuPaul stars in it. It's called AJ and the Queen. I mean, if you love drag queens and cheese, like, the cheesiness is on 10, but there's an undercurrent of a little bit of drama and emotion, and it's about a drag queen who befriends a young sort of runaway slash neglected child. And it's a sweet story. It's like if the Birdcage met Little Orphan Annie and they kind of put it together. It's a sweet series, and it really kind of just grows on you. At first you're like, what am I watching and why am I watching this? But it's a really good series. And RuPaul's in the movie, I think RuPaul's, well, I don't actually remember what his character's name was, because his character's name is not AJ, but the guy who plays his best friend, oh my gosh, what, I need to find his name. First of all, his voice is beautiful. I am sure that I have missed his Broadway career. He just has a beautiful voice. In terms of just speaking voice. And I want to say he probably sung a little bit, not like really, but he sung, you could sometimes people speak and you know that they have a beautiful singing voice. Anyway, that guy, his acting, I don't know, every scene that he was in, he turned out. So, and he's a beautiful man. Okay, I'm coming down. I'm coming down. If you like a little drama, I would say like a slow burn kind of drama, but it still feel good at its heart. One Last Thing. It's a movie on Netflix. It stars Journey Smollett, and I know this guy's name. He's literally played in everything. But now I can't remember his name. Anyway, in Suits, if you're a fan of Meghan Markle on Suits, he played her dad. So that actor, I just can't remember his name. But anyway, it's a really good movie. It's called One Last Thing, and I recommend that you watch that. Also, if you like kind of a woman finding herself, but with a little bit of quirk to it. I do like a quirky movie. I just do. This movie stars Alfre Woodard, and it's called Juanita, and it's also on Netflix. It's a good movie. She basically is like, I've had enough of my life and my kids, who are all just kind of bums and depend on her way too much. And she really just picks a place on a map and takes a bus there and kind of turns around this whole town and finds a little love on the side. So it's a cute movie. It's an easy watch. And Alfre Woodard just feels like home. She feels like home. So I love watching anything with her in it, particularly when she's like a mom. Although it's really not about her motherhood, it's really about focusing more on her womanhood. But it's like you just feel like you're watching your mom on TV when you watch Alfre Woodard, or at least I do. If you want inspiration, okay, this is a different one. This movie, I cannot remember the African country that is based in. Um, I want to say it's not the Congo. I think it's one of the countries that starts with an M. Maybe one of those where Angelina picked up one of her kids. I know that sounds crazy, y'all. I'm sorry. Um, but anyway, all my Africans, please don't. Oh man, this is horrible. Blame U.S. history, okay? Oh, what is the name of that country? It's in Southern Africa. It starts with an M. I think that's where this is based. But anyway, the movie is on Netflix and it's called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. It is a really just good, inspirational, making something out of nothing kind of movie. It's just about, it follows a young boy whose family is struggling to get him the education that he needs. It's a town who has been in a place that has suffered through desertification, which, if you understand, kind of like it's a climate change phenomenon where areas that used to have plenty of water, access to water, that has dried up. And so their crops are suffering. These are village people. And this young man literally uses like an old book from the 90s that he finds to, to, um, to create something, to create an energy source. I'm not going to tell you anything else, because I don't want to ruin the movie for you, but it's a really good movie about people who have less than nothing, okay? The desperation and how education, even just a little bit, because his family wasn't able to afford to continue sending him, but just a little bit of education can spark something in someone and they can put a few pieces together. And it kind of shows all the obstacles and the people who are just like not for him, trying. But yeah, it's a great kind of tear jerker, like wow, like you hate to see it because you hate that people are still fighting for water in 2020, like, but it's a beautiful movie. All right, my last two movies, or two two movies, one movie and a series for escaping what's happening, and just finding some joy in art. One is Otherhood, not motherhood, not brotherhood, but Otherhood. I'm sure you've seen it. It's on Netflix and it stars a few, like three women who are best friends. I think their kids were best friends, and so they met through probably like the PTA or something like that. Um, One of the moms is Angela Bassett. I mean, that's all I have to say, right? Okay. So it's about these three women who really just, their sons are grown. They're still trying to connect with their sons. And yeah, they're trying to find themselves. Some are married, some are newly divorced. There's some stuff there. Their sons are trying to figure out sort of where their moms play a role in their adult lives. And as a mother, I mean, I'm a mother to a 3-year-old, but I am, already tearing up at the thought that my child is going to go off and leave me and not want anything to do with me. And so if that's your vibe, you know, it's just about a group of middle-aged women who are sassy and sexy and finding themselves and unapologetically more than mothers. So I really like that. And finally, this is my last series. Season 4 airing right now on HBO, Insecure. You know it, you love it, you love to see it. If you just want to see people of color, black people, brown people celebrated and just enjoying life and the ups and downs of life, being allowed to just live their lives freely, Insecure is the best season for that. So season 4, episode 8, I believe, is airing tonight. And I'll be on our Instagram page at Swim Good Podcast after the show airs. And, join me in my comments. We'll be talking about it. I tend to post pictures and memes and my thoughts about what's going on. I may have a review up for you guys tomorrow on our YouTube page. But in the meantime, if you've enjoyed this video, thanks so much for watching and listening to this extended video. Please stay safe, take care of yourselves. Self-care matters. And just love on one another, okay? And support Black businesses. Thank you for supporting me and my podcast. Once again, this is Danny, and I'll see you later. Swim Good Podcast.